What is up, Cinders? Welcome back to Chicken Cindy's. Today we're going to take a look at the Polygon Siskiu T6E, which is a trail-oriented full suspension e-bike that promises a lot of fun for not necessarily a lot of money. So straight out of the box, you can see that this Polygon Siskiu is the more traditional frame style that you just have known to kind of love and appreciate by Polygon. I think they have a really nice looking frame. But as you can see, this time it has a mid-drive motor and a nice integrated battery. And honestly, I don't feel like the battery looks super crazy like I've seen in some e-bikes. So I really appreciate how nice and integrated really this looks. And it's very nice and a lot more compact than what you would really think on an e-bike. This is more of a trail-oriented bike. So you got 140 front and 140 rear. You got Suntour front and Suntour rear. This Edge Plus has a nice lockout, and you also have your dampening control here, or your rebound control. So really that rear shock has everything that you'd probably want necessarily just for a nice easy trail bike. So I've been really impressed with this, and the lockout works really nice. I don't use it a ton, but it is there. The Suntour Zero Fork there on the front has been very nice. I've been very impressed with that, and I think it's overall the suspension on this bike is great for the price. The battery is a 504 watt-hour battery. It is removable, and depending on terrain and obviously what level you're on, you're gonna get around 30 to 40 miles on it. For your drivetrain here, you have a Shimano Q's. It's an 11-speed. You got a plenty big enough tooth on the top there with a 50-tooth cog. So climbs and stuff are gonna be easy, but you're already on an e-bike, so you're probably not gonna be too terribly concerned about climbs as it is. But the Shimano Q's, it's been shifting great for me. I've been very impressed with it. It works great. This is the first time I've actually been on a Q's. I'm usually a real big fan of Microshift, and their Advent X is great. But yeah, this Q's has been really nice. It's been shifting very crisp out of the box, and it feels great. No chain slap. The derailleur has a really nice built-in clutch system. So no complaints there on the drivetrain. The drivetrain has been working and functioning as it should. Now the brakes are something I do want to talk about just a little bit. It's the SRAM codes. A lot of times on these more budget builds, you're gonna get kind of like the intro-level Shimanos or the more intro-level SRAMs. These codes, I've not rode SRAM brakes for a while. I typically do things with mineral oil, and I've really been impressed with these codes. I mean, they work great. The modulation feels terrific. I mean, there's really not like a hard on-off. It's very supple in the sense of like sensitivity is how much you push it and how much it's braking. But yeah, these codes are really nice. I'm very impressed with these brakes, and it's kind of got me second guessing myself on some SRAMs, and maybe I should buy some and try some out. So let me know though in the comments. Have you tried codes? What do you think about them? Because I'm really just used to the levels, which are kind of more their entry level, and I've never been impressed with those. But these codes are very nice. I like them quite a bit. Good job on that. You have some Schwalbes on the front and on the rear here. The tires have been great. I feel like they're great for trail oriented. They've been nice. They're grippy. They climb great. I've not been slipping or anything like that. So I mean, they're just nice tires. You can't go wrong with some Schwalbes. So they're good. So that's kind of a down and dirty spec list for what you're getting here. And just to kind of like tell you in the beginning, I think for the price this bike costs, which is right at $3,000, and what you're getting on the bike, it's nice. A lot of times, more budget stuff, since this is an e-bike, it's going to be a little bit higher than your typical budget full suspension. But I mean, there's really nothing as of right now on this bike that I'm obviously like wanting or needing to change. It rides great. It rides really nice. And I've honestly I'm really enjoying my time on this bike so far. All right, let's get some POV of the bike itself being rode. And honestly, once this bike is on the trail, it just eats up whatever's in front of it. I've been very impressed with how it feels, how it flows. The suspension, I mentioned it a second ago when I was talking about it, but I mean, I feel like if you're looking at this bike, you might be a little concerned over the Suntour. Let's be real, Suntour's been on podiums. A lot of people just know Suntour for their budget forks that are, you know, heavy and coil and on Walmart bikes. And the stuff that's on this bike is not that. Suntour has some very nice suspension, and this is getting up there. It's one of those things, like I said, whenever you see the price of $3,000, you kind of worry about like, where did they cut corners on this bike? And I'm sure the Suntour that's on this is a little cheaper than like Fox Factory, obviously, with that fancy gold Kashima everybody loves so much. But this suspension feels, I mean, just wonderful. I love, it's very responsive, but at the same time it's supple. That rear lockout works great when you use it. And overall, I feel like if you're talking about Boop, boop. Little rocks. If you're talking about buying this bike and looking into wanting to upgrade it, the first things a lot of people are going to look at is suspension. Ride the suspension for a while first. I think you're really going to be impressed. All right, let's go into how this thing climbs. This is a set it and forget it. This mid-drive motor, and once you get into a nice comfortable gear where you can just kind of flow, I mean, it just goes. There is like, you just feel like you're unstoppable. I've been very, very impressed. I mean, on the flats, this thing on boost gets up to 20, no problem. Right now, what, 19.2? I mean, it tops out at 20, but yeah, if you keep that speed up, and even if you start to know there's a climb up or something, just shift. And I mean, this thing just stays just going just flawlessly. I've been very, very happy with the climbability of this bike. For me being 5 foot, 10 inches, 32-inch inseam, I was a little worried about how well this was going to fit me. Bike fits great with a medium. I'm absolutely loving this. And I've actually got it set up for my kids ride shotgun. And myself and Piper have rode it quite a few times now. And even with her on here in front of me on that, I still feel like I have decent room. It's not too bad at all. I could potentially get a little bit longer of a stem if I wanted to, because I mean, this stem's basically slammed up to me. But other than that, this thing it's very nice for my size, and I'm very happy with it.
And just like that, we're back in the coupe. That was a very fun, terrific ride. I've gone on, I don't know, a handful of bike rides so far with this bike, and I've been very impressed with it. I think for the price, it packs a punch way above the cost. I think for $3,000, you get a lot of bike here, just between the battery life and all of that. I mean, the battery life could be just a little bit better on boost, of course, but I mean, it's one of those situations where, I mean, it's an e-bike, and if you're on boost, you know, you're going to go through it, so it is what it is. Geometry, I think, is terrific. I'll put the numbers here for those who, the nerds like me, for instance, who like the numbers and the geometry, but just overall fit and feel, this bike is very nice. I'm very impressed with the components that are on it. Like I said, the Q's Shimano, I know it's a little bit more of a budget drivetrain, but it works great. The 11-speed is wonderful, and it shifts great out of the box. I had to do the barrel adjustment a little bit, but other than that, it shifts great. I'm very impressed with the suspension, if that's something you are concerned about because you see Suntour. But the Suntour suspension, it feels really nice. The Code brakes are great. I'm very much impressed with those Code brakes. I like them quite a bit. I try to hit on a little bit of everything with this bike. I would say two things that I think are kind of negatives, if we had to name a couple. I don't like the dropper remote. I'm much more of a bigger fan of like bearing style dropper remotes. They just feel nicer. They actuate a little bit smoother. It works fine and functions fine. And the dropper itself, this Trans X, it works great. I mean, so no complaints there. It's just, that's more of a quality of life. The display unit itself, it's just a little basic, which is nice. I know there's a couple other different bikes that have some more things that you could display on there that if you'd like to in that kind of a situation. But if you're just wanting to get on and go, absolutely no problem there. And then of course the weight. It is an e-bike. I'll put a little video of the weight right here because I know some people are interested in the weight of these e-bikes. If you're buying an e-bike, it's not going to be light. I mean, you got this big battery, you got the mid-drive motor. I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. But surprisingly on the trail, I mean, although it is heavy and heavier than a regular bike, you don't really notice it. Even like in the air and drops and stuff, it just feels nice and planted. It's not too bad at all. I've really been enjoying it. But yeah, I try to hit on a little bit of everything in this video. If I missed something that you wanted to know, if there's something that you're curious in that I didn't answer, please put it down in the comments. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, please, leave a comment, please like it, subscribe as well. I mean, I definitely would appreciate any form of support that you can give the channel. But other than that, I really appreciate you all tuning in. And until next time, everybody take care.